If you're striving to improve yourself and reach your goals, then you know that feedback is an essential tool for growth. It helps you understand how you're doing, what you're doing well, and where you need to improve. Without feedback, it can be difficult to gain a clear understanding of your progress and identify areas for growth. In this video, we'll explore the many benefits of feedback and how you can use it to your advantage. We'll look at how feedback can help you understand your strengths and weaknesses, set and achieve goals, improve your performance, enhance your relationships, increase your self-awareness, and more. We'll also discuss how to effectively give and receive feedback and how to use it to facilitate learning and growth. So if you're looking to improve yourself and reach your full potential, make sure to tune in and learn how feedback can help you along the way. Welcome to the channel of all things personal development. Subscribe and turn on the notification button, the little bell to be hit up with all the latest content. Let's jump into the video. Feedback can assist us in better understanding how others are affected by our words, deeds, or lack thereof. We are curious in how other people see us, including their opinions on our actions, demeanor, and character traits. We require input to improve our performance and advance personally. We need criticism, but we detest it when it's painful. We like constructive criticism that is provided without malice. Positive feedback is what we most like to hear, so please be at ease. Feedback has a paradox. We want to know, but it can often be difficult to hear. Self-confidence and self-awareness are the focus. We frequently seek criticism since it might raise our self-esteem or increase our self-awareness. While receiving negative feedback can help us better understand our own conduct, receiving positive comments can boost our self-esteem, and the latter is crucial if we wish to better ourselves. It can provide us with direction on how to present ourselves so that we can have the impression we want on others. At the very least, feedback can enable us to estimate the likely effects of our actions. It would appear that while receiving positive feedback makes us feel better and can boost our self-esteem, we can also utilize it to reinforce particular aspects of our behavior. On the other hand, we also need negative criticism to advance our own development. They are both necessary for personal development. Positive or negative feedback is not the only thing that can be categorized, though. Clarity is also essential. In light of this, there are four main kinds of feedback. 4 categories of feedback. Positive and general. You performed an excellent job. This type of response makes us feel really satisfied. Our motivation may be sparked by it. Unfortunately, its therapeutic effects are short-lived, and the message it normally conveys is too broad to be useful for studying. Optimistic and precise. The 2 diagrams at the end of your report were very understandable and helpful. This feedback makes us feel proud, as well as enabling us to build on our successes. It calls attention to the things we performed right, so we can repeat or use them later. Very crucial to keep us going on the arduous path of personal development. Negative and particular. You frequently ask closed-ended questions during performance reviews, which may prevent your coworkers from sharing their genuine opinions. That one is difficult. It's undoubtedly a confrontation because facing the content is unpleasant. However, it is detailed enough to show out the areas that need work, allowing us to take lessons from our mistakes and failures. Constructive criticism is what we refer to as this kind of feedback, and is crucial for personal development. General and negative. This presentation was difficult to understand and pointless. It causes destruction. No learning will take place because it bothers and demotivates us. As we can see, getting precise feedback is necessary if we want to use it to fuel our own progress. This goes for both good and negative criticism. Therefore, we must take the initiative and lead the process of soliciting specific, constructive comments from others. Instead of shutting them out or allowing them to hurt us, we can take proactive measures to incorporate this inputs into our behavior. Obtaining feedback involves 3 stages. Before, 2, during, and following, the while phase receives a lot of our focus. We are taught the correct way to give feedback, information-specific, issue-focused, based on observations, etc., as well as the exact way to accept it. Be open, utilize active listening, don't be defensive, etc. On the other hand, we seldom ever concentrate on the actions we may take to obtain the helpful criticism we can genuinely use for our own personal development. Even less energy is left over to use feedback to improve oneself and make lasting behavioral adjustments. You learn that when you are ready for feedback, that is, when my mind is open to receiving it and I am willing to change, you can most effectively use its content. The easiest approach to make sure I'm in this state is to start the feedback process right away. You must have discovered that when you just ask someone, "Do you have any comments for me?" you typically get broad, ambiguous responses. As we already witnessed, general feedback is not particularly helpful for personal development. Therefore, I advise you to arm yourself with specific questions that elicit detailed input from your partners. Even when the feedback is far from ideal, not real-time, not precise, not helpful, etc., we frequently feel moved by it and take it with us throughout the day. We keep some of them out while understanding others. Some of them we attempt to improve upon, while others we want to eradicate. When we receive feedback that is poorly constructed, it can be difficult to incorporate the information, since it may go against some of our characteristics, convictions, or routines. To convert and integrate the new inputs in order to accomplish personal progress, mental energy is required. And it is even more difficult when we weren't expecting to hear feedback, since we didn't initiate it or it came at an unexpected time. When we receive feedback, it's crucial to comprehend and customize it in addition to accepting and incorporating the message. Although a basis and premise is established, there is an interesting process towards it. Let's dive in. Imagine you are working in a company and you request feedback from the organization or HR. Requesting feedback. A person may request feedback from another person or from HR. Simple enough, asking for anything is as easy as asking your project manager, team leader, or any other coworker, "How am I doing so far?" and get a rough assessment of how you're doing right now. When HR needs to comprehend and convey this type of information for any particular or general purpose, the second option is available. The initial step in this case is gathering information regarding the existing condition. In more concrete terms, this means that HR will request a description of your best work and areas for development from someone who regularly monitors your performance and communicates with you. Either personally asking someone to give their ideas or using a company-wide feedback form can be used to accomplish this. Taking the feedback into consideration. Once comments are received, they are not simply filed away and forgotten about or delivered in their entirety to anyone who might be interested. All feedback is processed in a reasonable amount of time with clearly stated, attainable, and measurable goals. What should I do with this enormous amount of information from 450 plus colleagues is the main query raised here. This really contrasts the qualitative and quantitative surveys that are frequently employed in the field of human resources and psychology more broadly. On the one hand, greater qualitative data translates into better and more in-depth understandings of the topic at hand. However, it becomes incredibly difficult and time-consuming when you try to visualize or comprehend this kind of information. The converse is true with numerical scales, which are simple to understand but call for further investigation. Shorter questions are typically preferred by respondents over longer ones, and if given the chance to pick between making a detailed comment or choosing a number from a scale, they will favor the first option. While the society as a whole is still looking for the magic bullet, we are now employing a feedback platform to allow people to score the performance of the individual as a number value with the option to offer some justification under each component. If further information is required, we schedule a one-on-one call to discuss it further. Delivering feedback. Communication is the last action. We will meet with you to talk about current concerns and objectives, as well as how to address or meet them as appropriate. Finding the ideal strategy for this phase is essential. The effectiveness of this stage will depend on how feedback is conveyed. The result of feedback communication, namely, if the anticipated changes occurred within the anticipated time frame, determines whether it was successful or unsuccessful. To do this, the individual providing the feedback must effectively communicate their message in a way that is not only simple to grasp, but also realistic and fair to the person receiving it. Imagine that one of your coworkers consistently arrives late to the daily stand-up, one of the most significant gatherings at ScandiWeb, and that no one is aware of their current location. In this situation, the outcome could be stated as attending daily stand-ups on time or disclosing any schedule changes that will disrupt attendance in advance. What happens next? When someone behaves in this way, you should have a conversation with them to find out why they are late and inadequately communicating, and how they think the situation could be improved. If the person is not fully uninformed of some everyday routines that are taking place, it is most frequently due to a lack of information or awareness of how or with whom to appropriately interact. For this reason, it's critical to remember that the goal of communication is to try to assist the other person in seeing what may be done differently, rather than merely accusing them of engaging in unpleasant conduct. Attitude toward criticism. When entering any interaction that requires communicating feedback, empathy and understanding are a must. Making mistakes is a necessary part of learning, and ScandiWeb is all about assisting individuals in doing their best. Because of this, we take this issue seriously and work to encourage honest dialogue among our workers and inside the business. In order to implement and track a personal development plan, constructive feedback is essential. When a worker meets or exceeds a goal set forth in their personal development plan, it is appropriate to congratulate them and urge them to keep working hard to reach their objectives. However, there may be occasions when the objectives are not met or errors are committed. It is critical to offer constructive criticism at this point, even if it is negative. Without helpful criticism, it could be challenging for the employee to figure out why they aren't succeeding and where they are going wrong. As a result, they might find it tough to make corrections or get back on track. Additionally, unsatisfactory feedback could make a worker doubt their ability to grow personally, or perhaps feel as though they should abandon this strategy and set new objectives. To prevent mistakes from happening again, it's critical that both employees and their managers be able to learn from them. Additionally, this can assist managers and trainers in ensuring that the following employee doesn't make the same mistakes. Respect between workers and their supervisors or mentors can be increased through constructive criticism, or even between any two peers for that matter. Thanks for watching. Do give us a like if you enjoyed. Engage with us in the comments below.